Complaints of overcrowding and abuses in Broward's jails have kept the county under federal watch for decades. But while the Broward Sheriff's Office wants the oversight kept, the Broward County Commission wants it gone. The federal government's watched the county spend millions to build 2 new jails, earn accreditation, and enact reforms to correct the abuses that first led inmates to sue 40 years ago in 1976. Lawyers representing inmates and the American Civil Liberties Union say abuses still exist, but BSO is negotiating with those attorneys for a deal that would involve reopening the county's Stockade Facility Jail in Fort Lauderdale. The Stockade was closed in 2009. If it reopens, the county could be asked to pay for it and is analyzing the cost. One expert studied the county's jail system last year and reported that even though crime and arrests are dropping, the length of stay for Broward's jail inmates is growing. Broward jails typically house 4,500 to 4,600 people. There are 5,144 beds, but when the jail population exceeds 85%, or 90% in the 2 lower security jails, inmate population expert Dr. James Austin says the system begins to be strained. In his study, Austin found jail population reduction has stalled since 2012. The length of jail stays for inmates is increasing. People booked into the jail stayed an average of 27.4 days in 2010, but that figure was up to 37.88 days by June 2015. Although fewer people were booked into the jail in those years, there were 400 more people in custody. Broward incarcerates a higher percentage of the population than its South Florida neighboring counties of Miami-Dade and Palm Beach, even with respective crime rates taken into consideration. Broward County also has a higher percentage of inmates who haven't been found guilty of a crime and are awaiting trial. More than half the inmates in Broward's 4 jails haven't had trials. On average, 78% of Broward County jail inmates are awaiting trial, more than the statewide norm, while the length of an inmate's stay is 15 days longer than the national average. The average stay in jail for a black person in 2015 was 200 days, 184 for whites, and 135 for Hispanics. Austin didn't recommend building more jails or reopening the stockade, though. He suggested reducing the number of prisoners by 875 with judicial system reforms, including expanding pretrial release and making efforts to release people, including the homeless, who are being held on minor crimes and low bonds. Experts in mental health and jail conditions will tour the jails from July 17th to the 19th and then report to U.S. District Judge Donald Middlebrooks whether conditions are unconstitutional.